So we're going to talk about the other endocrine glands affected by the functioning of the thyroid. Insulin-like growth factor. This leads to, this is actually produced in conjunction with the growth hormone, and it can lead to formation of a goiter. Cortisol, which is produced by the adrenal gland, which helps us during stressful times. When it goes high, when you have chronic stress, it reduces the thyroid hormone production because it doesn't want the metabolic rate to be so high that the energy gets utilized, and it tries to store energy. Cytokines and interleukin, these are inflammatory markers. Think of them as soldiers that try to fight an infection or inflammation. But unfortunately, these soldiers are so chaotic when there is a chronic insult to the body in the form of an infection or a toxin that it can lead to the destruction of the thyroid gland. Sex hormones, as we spoke of, the female hormones or the male hormones can also get affected and lead to decreased libido and disrupt the menstrual cycle. So the thyroid is really, a proper functioning thyroid, I would say, is really essential for our normal functioning head to toe. And it protects us in several ways. It warns us of problems in several ways. So it's very important to live your life cognizant of this and protecting your thyroid. If the thyroid gland is normal, why do we still have thyroid issues? It's because there are deficiencies. Remember, I told you iodine is a crucial step if you're not eating enough iodine in your food. However, there's a condition called Hashimoto's, which is the body destroying the thyroid. It can happen when the thyroid intake is too much, and we'll get to that in a different article. But for now, remember, if you're very deficient in iodine, what happens is the body senses a low thyroid. So the thyroid stimulating hormone, do you remember that? From the pituitary, it stimulates the production of new thyroid hormone. So the thyroid hormone, the glands or the cells begin to produce the new thyroid hormone, and then when it's time to get the iodine, it finds there's no iodine. But it's already producing these hormones, so these hormones cannot be released without the iodine. You need the iodine to get out of the gland. When it doesn't have that, all of these hormones build up in the gland, and that's when you have a swelling of the gland called the goiter. Very common with iodine deficiency. Another mineral, selenium, can also cause a decrease in the levels of thyroid hormone and a swelling of the gland. Zinc deficiency and iron. Iron deficiency is interesting. Many women have menstrual abnormalities where they're bleeding heavily during each menstrual cycle, and they may lose more than 1 gram of iron. Normally, women lose about 1 gram of iron with each menstrual cycle, but when you have heavy cycles, you can lose more than 1 gram and eventually become low in iron, but they don't like to take iron because it causes constipation. Now that can disrupt your thyroid production. So it's very important to understand simply replacing the thyroid with medications will not help. We've got to identify deficiencies, identify is there a problem with the conversion of T4 to T3. T3 is the active hormone. Now T4 can also become something called reverse T3, which is a twin of T3, but it's the inactive form of T3. And that can happen if the person has a lot of inflammation. Remember, I said the cytokines and interleukins from infections. If you have a lot of infection, you will have reverse T3, which is not an active hormone. So you want to identify, is there a problem with the brain, pituitary, or the thyroid, or is there a deficiency of minerals, or is there a lot of inflammation? Hope you understand this, and we'll get into the next part in a few minutes.